I received multiple questions about bulking a few weeks ago on an Instagram poll that we did. That's the topic that we'll explore today. Should you maintain calories to build muscles for calisthenics? Should you lean bulk or should you dirty bulk? Let's break down the answer. I will also share my experience bulking at the end. First, your body really doesn't care what the source of resistance is. If it's bodyweight training, if it's barbell training, if it's dumbbell and machine training, whether you will pack on any muscle mass or not will still be dependent on the same two things, which is a calorie surplus, having extra energy reserves to support muscle building, and the second thing is enough protein, enough amino acids, which will be the building blocks for muscle building. Except if you're a beginner, and especially if you are overweight, you'll be able to build some muscle and you'll be able to lose some fat simultaneously with calisthenics. So if you're a beginner listening to this, don't bulk, just train. You'll be able to pack on some muscle, lose fat simultaneously, feel better, and this will plateau over the course of a few months. Then you'll have to do more traditional bulking and cutting periods. Now, whether you do bodyweight or barbell training entirely changes the outcomes, right? So which muscle groups will hypertrophy, what the ratios between the muscle groups that will hypertrophy, the functions that you'll be able to do as a byproduct of that. And for sure, gymnastics puts more emphasis on certain physical traits than barbell training. But whether you will pack on any muscle mass or not will still be dependent on those same two things. Disclaimer. There are calisthenic athletes that I entirely respect, and this is admirable, that just prefer to maintain a very lean and small physique. They will be very aesthetic, they will be well proportioned, they will look great with their shirt off, they will have their vein popping in their biceps, abs popping, they will look great with the shirt off. You can't recomp your physique from 140 pounds to go to 190 pounds. And the question was, to build muscle, let alone maximize muscle mass and strength training. And the reality is that beyond this beginner phase where they will try to recomp, they won't be able to build muscle mass to any meaningful degree. Once we already identified that you need to have more distinctive calorie surplus phases and calorie deficit phases when you're trying to lose fat, now the question is, should you lean bulk or should you dirty bulk? Well, I think in calisthenics, it's great that we are accountable for relative strength, which is basically your pound for pound strength. Moving your body weight needs to still improve. Handstand push-ups, chin-ups, pull-ups, dips. Numbers need to go up on a bulking period. This is your first true measurement of the quality of the bulking phase, right? If on the handstand push-up, the pull-ups, the chin-ups, the dips goes up, relative strength, i.e. goes up on your bulking period, it means that the muscle mass proportion to the little fat mass that you gained is very, very effective. You're bulking very effectively to a relative strength still is on the rise, right? The second measurement that you want to look for is the scale. You won't be able to just dirty bulk and add a lot of fat, otherwise performance will drop significantly. You need to gain weight at about the rate of 2 pounds a month, right? A pound every 2 weeks. It needs to be visible so you can actually manage it on the scale, but not gain too much weight to where performance drops and you gain too much fat to muscle ratio. Right? So it's actually great that we're accountable for our performance for relative strength in calisthenics and body fat percentage. Personally, what I go for, I hover between the 10% body fat on my lowest up to about 16% body fat on the end of my bulking. And then when I reach this body fat percentage range, I will start cutting, right? So I might play between, let's say, 80 kilogram body weight all up to 86 kilogram, 88 kilograms, and then I will cut back. I do think that people need to go on a distinct bulking period, lean bulking that is, especially if they're more advanced, to build muscle and strength instead of the maintenance calories. I think if you are not distinctively bulking, you will be sabotaging the rate of progress. If, the moment you lose some abs definition, you go on a cut again, you're the same guy who is very likely to just hover around the same level of strength indefinitely. Remember that fat loss is a short-term adaptation. Don't get too worried, right? If you bulk and you added a few extra pounds of fat more than you wanted to, you will always be able to cut down in 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks a significant amount of extra fat gain that you gain from a bulking period that was very valuable and longer. Strength training and muscle building is a long-term adaptation. It takes a lot of time. So I really think that you should dive into a meaningful bulking period and don't get too stressed about an extra pound of fat, especially not if relative strength still goes up. Who cares if your handstand push-ups still got better, that you also built more muscle? Lifestyle, mood also probably felt better. Sounds to me like a net positive. When I bulked, I started about 140 pounds a decade or so ago. I bulked up to about 180. I had to eat a lot of calories, more than I actually thought that I ever needed. About 4,200 to 4,500 calories, okay? But it wasn't dirty bulking. It's just that my metabolism was very high, I was very active, and I was tracking everything, measuring everything, weighing everything, logging everything in my fitness pal. I can still go back to these times, is still on the app, and see exactly what I ate about a decade ago on my bulking phase. I took pictures every month. I remember I actually started dating, believe it or not, my wife back in those days. So, and the first time that I decided to do progress pictures of my bulking period was at her place. So I made sure, I'm not sure that she knows it, but I made sure every month on the same day that I had to sleep at her place so I can wake up and take pictures of my bulking progress with the same lighting and mirror and placement and everything, it's really hilarious. That was lean bulking. Now I don't have to eat 4,500 calories in order to bulk. I only need about 3,500 calories in order to bulk. Metabolism set point change over the course of years, and it really depends on activity, age, genetics, stuff like that. It's only when I lean bulked traditionally that I was able to really consistently see the weight on the scale is going up, and actually didn't gain a lot of fat on the process. But once I did go on a fat loss phase, and you can always cut down over the course of only a few weeks. It's not a big deal. As long as weight on the scale is going up and relative strength is going up with all of your body weight movements, you're bulking properly. That's the way I recommend. Dirty bulking is just unnecessary. Especially for calisthenics, it's great that we're accountable for any fat gain. But you don't need distinctive bulking and cutting periods if you're not a beginner. That's my thoughts. If you want one-on-one online coaching, check the link in the description, book a free call with me. Let's see if it's a fit. If not, like, share, and subscribe the video only if you love the video. See you next time.